on, I want to talk about what could use a little bit of improvement. I want to start off by saying that I think Plunderstorm is a great game mode. It's so much fun. It's so cool to get a different mode where you're actually using WoW and getting to play the game in a different way. But they've asked for feedback, and I think there's a few things that could be improved on. The first thing I'd like to say is I think there needs to be a skill-based matchmaking system. Now, I've gone back and forth with some people on this, and I've actually changed my mind about this. Maybe there doesn't need to be skill-based matchmaking, but there needs to be maybe a bot mode. I tried to play with my wife, who doesn't play a lot of WoW. She hasn't played action RPGs, and playing duos in that setting for a new player, it is not attractive at all. It is not fun when you're just getting completely annihilated by duos because you don't know or don't have the mechanics on hand. I think the point of this type of mode should be to attract new players. And while I think it's absolutely amazing and fun for current and existing players, I think there needs to be some way to maybe reduce the sweatiness for players who really just want to have fun. Number two is I think that the character customizations, once you unlock appearances, needs to be changed a little bit. Like, I'm here on the character creation screen. I can't change my appearance, but I've unlocked quite a few things. Like, I've got new weapon appearances, new shirts and pants and stuff like that. But the way you change it is once you get into the game in the starting lobby. And I think that's kind of a clunky system. I would love to see you able to change that kind of stuff out here on the character creation screen. Number three, and this is one I've gone back and forth on again and gotten some feedback, and like maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like there needs to be some sort of audio cues outside of hearing spells being cast for when there's other players near you. I think other battle royales have systems where you can hear their footsteps when they're outside, that kind of thing. If you're like in a building in this game mode and somebody saw you walk in that building from a distance, they can completely sneak up on you and, you know, get half your health gone before you even know they're there. I think there needs to be some sort of, I don't know, just like maybe like a spidey sense that appears above your head if there's another character within, 30 yards or something like that, 20 yards. I don't know. I think that could be very useful. Another thing is I think we really need some map diversity. Arathi Highlands feels so small and it almost feels old and stale already. And I'm sure this is already in the works. I'm sure they're already working on new maps, but I could definitely see map diversity helping the game quite a bit. And if not, different maps, I think they need to make a way to make every drop feel different from previous drops. Like maybe the idea of hot zones that is in Apex where there's like a certain area where there's high level abilities that drop off bat. So maybe that gets more players going there. And it just helps, each drop feel a little bit different. Number 5, we need trios. We got to have trios. I think this mode has attracted a lot of PvP teams, and just having 3 players, it's got to happen at some point. Solos is fun, duos is fun, but we need trios. Obviously 60 players on this small of a map is probably a little bit too small for that type of thing. So this would probably need to come along with a bigger map and maybe more players in the lobby, but trios is definitely on the list of what we need to see. Let's see here. The difference between levels, I think, could change quite a bit too. I think the level difference makes way too much of a difference as far as like power level. Like a 2 like character, like how you level up in the game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you get experience. I think the amount of difference between like a level 4 character and a level 6 character is too much. I think they need to either half that power level in half, or maybe half the amount of levels you can get, so you can get to level 5, or you can get to the max level a little bit easier. I think kind of the system that's in place right now discourages certain types of play styles. One of those play styles, and this is again one that my wife likes to do, is just be stealthy until the end. And I think obviously those players shouldn't have the same power level as somebody who's been grinding the entire map, but I like that kind of play style is completely just like you could not win with that play style. And I think there should be some sort of adjustment to the levels that you get throughout the game in order to help with that. Dude, Number 7 is going to be that we need a kill counter and maybe a damage counter. I've seen people arguing against this, not to make it sweaty, but the only people who are going to see this are yourself or your duo of partners. Like, I want to know how many kills I've had. I want to know how much damage I've done, not even from an analytical, but like that makes the game more fun. Like when you're trying to get more kills, or like, let's say you get to, you know, 3rd place and you're super discouraged, but hey, I got fucking 7 kills like that. Like we need that type of counter. Like it would make the game so much more enjoyable. I don't think there's any other battle royale that doesn't tell you how many killing blows or how much damage you've done. Another one I think that could be really good is an emote wheel. I think every other battle royale has this, but it looks like all the slash commands work. From what I can tell, I haven't tried all of them, obviously, but I think an emote wheel where you hold down a button and you go up, down, left, right to select, you know, slash flex, slash dance, slash cry. So I can, you know, troll my enemies when I slay them, or, you know, maybe even just wave to you know, someone in the starting game to let them know like, hey, I'm not a threat. I think that would add a lot to the game. Number 9, we need to be able to swap the party leader in the pregame lobby. Again, this is all coming back to me playing with someone who hasn't played a ton of these games, or played WoW or used to the controls. For some reason, every time we queued in the lobbies, she would be the drop master. And you know, definitely we like to take turns, but it can be frustrating when you're trying to drop a specific place and it's just not happening, or like, you know, maybe they don't even want that pressure. You know, I think every other game has a drop master, you know, switching function. I think we need to see that. And then my last thing that I think needs to be added to Plunderstorm is we need to be able to play retail and Plunderstorm at the same time. I think this game mode is kind of a godsend, or could be a godsend, to solo shuffle players who queue as DPS. If you could queue this game mode while you're sitting in a solo shuffle queue, that would alleviate a lot of the pain of just sitting, you know, in Valdrak and waiting around. And the thing about it is there's not really any detriment to other players if someone drops out of a Plunderstorm mid-game, like maybe other games. Like people sometimes have 2 accounts, or something like that. I don't see any downside to a player leaving Plunderstorm mid-game, because all that does is increase everyone else in the game's rank by 1. So yeah, I would love to see some of these changes. I think there was one more. Oh, so they made a bunch of changes to Plunder. So this was going to be my last thing that I think should be added, but you're not really incentivized to PvP against other players in a battle royale, which feels really weird. Like if you get into a PvP fight in the starting of the game and you're going back and forth and it's taking you 2, 3, 4 minutes to kill the other player, you're missing out on all the XP from grinding mobs, from opening chests. You're missing out on abilities, and like you get that kill and you don't even get a level sometimes. I think they need to incentivize killing other players, not necessarily as like the main mode, but you need to give players rewards for slaying other players as you level up. But this kind of goes back to the leveling thing too. So I don't know. Again, I think Plunderstorm is a great game. All of these suggestions are not to take away from the fact that this is an awesome addition, and I'm so happy to see it, and I hope we see this stay around a lot longer than 6 weeks. But I wanted to give my thoughts on maybe what could be improved. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know down in the comments what else, what other changes they can make that you'd like to see. And yeah, like and sub to this channel. All right, bye.